Well, hello. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world show made for the fans by a fan. I'm your host, as always, Richard Tiemann, and this is the award-winning fan show. That's right, everyone's a fan of something, and we have got something for every fan, especially those of you that are fans of breaking news, comeback stories of possibly the century, and NBA playoffs. So, without further ado or any more delay, welcome to episode 468. Let's go ahead and dive right into today's headlines. Headlines, of course, brought to you by Dynamite Enterprises. They can customize your world in a variety of ways, so go ahead and hit up Ethan at dynamiteenterprises.com. Check out their website, or follow their amazing Instagram, Dynamite Enterprises, to see just all the different work that they can do and have done over the past several months. They've been doing a lot of work lately, but they can do stickers, polos, shirts, hats, beanies, jerseys, and awards. It's coming up on the last quarter of the year, so if you have some awards that you need to give out, I suggest getting a hold of Dynamite Enterprises. Customize your world. And as you saw from the graphic earlier this week, my special guest, Ameer Ismail, is joining me later on in the episode. Had a great conversation regarding the bright future that the IFL has, and I think that's really the theme of today's episode, is looking forward to 2021. We are over the midway point for August, and so now we look September, October, November, December. 4 short months left until we can put 2020 and all of its madness in our rearview mirror and look to starting anew, hopefully, a better 2021. I don't know how high your hopes are for it, but certainly the bar has been set pretty low because of 2020. Either way, today's theme is kind of looking to a brighter future. And we start with today's breaking news, and that is that it is officially official, you may even say fan show official, the Massachusetts Pirates are now officially a part of the Indoor Football League. I had mentioned that this was likely to happen over a month ago. I went and found the episode and the clip from it where I talk about Mass wanting to be part of the IFL and have been wanting to be part of the IFL since this time last year. It was just a matter of, well, how do you make it work? And it's kind of the chicken or the egg thing right now, which came first. Well, Massachusetts is now the first official team for the Indoor Football League in the East Coast region, which opens up a huge door of opportunities and expansion potential, which is great for the IFL and fans alike of the indoor football game. But it's funny because people think that this is going to be crazy talk, having the lone team on the East Coast when the other East Coast-ish team, the Columbus Wild Dogs, will not debut until 2022. Well, that's what you got to do. You kind of got to put your money where your mouth is and say, this is what's going to happen, and it's going to open up a world of possibilities. It reminded me of the meme that I saw regarding politics, because really, the IFL is a business, and business is politics, but the one where it's the guy that says to his son, I want you to marry the girl that I choose, and he says no. And he's like, well, she is Bill Gates' daughter. And he's like, well, okay then. And then he calls Bill Gates and says, I want your daughter to marry my son. And he goes, no way. He's like, well, he's the CEO of World Bank. And he goes, okay. And then he calls the president of World Bank and says, I want you to make my son your CEO. And he goes, no way. He's like, well, he's married to Bill Gates' daughter. And he's like, okay. And it just round and around and around. So you have to establish a presence in a region that you essentially want to expand to. But if other areas and markets are hesitant, you got to find the one that's willing to leap. And that was Massachusetts Pirates. If they can do it, I see a very bright future ahead for the Indoor Football League. So that was announced today. Officially, they will be joining the league for the 2021 season that I hope we have. And they also announced that they have signed a 3-year extension with the DCU Center, which has been the home venue for the Pirates. So that's awesome. I'm very excited about all the movement we're seeing. In other news, what else can you say except life comes at you fast? The Baltimore Lightning, out as fast as they were in. NAL announced that they have terminated their agreement, their contract with the Baltimore Lightning, citing that they failed to have their letter of credit turned in by the deadline that was agreed upon, and were unable to secure an arena lease, or a lease with an arena that they intended on playing in, which normally a lease with an arena is done before you make any kind of official announcement or sign any kind of paperwork. So I'm wondering, why would you agree to have a team be a part of your league that didn't have a place to play just yet? Unless they lied about it. But there's a lot of just ugly mess going on with this situation. And I'm personally, no thank you. We can focus on the expansion and growth of the greatest indoor league right now. That is the Indoor Football League. So onward and upward. Let's see. We also have this is 2020 hashtag, because with everything going on with Baltimore and the NAL and just ridiculous things like that, I mean, I'm really not shocked by anything lately. It is a year where the bigger the surprise or shocker, or the bigger an unexpected event happens, the more likely you are to believe it, because if anything is believable at any point in time throughout your life, it's probably going to happen in the year 2020. And let's see here. NFL Countdown continues. In the NFL Countdown, we are less than a month away from NFL football regular season. Normally, it would be the preseason right now, but we are a week into training camp. They've put the pads on. There's been injuries. There's been players. According to every reporter of every team, every player looks better than they ever have before. Shout out to Mark Istook for pointing that out on Twitter. I thought that was very funny. So the players look great, but Seattle Seahawks have announced that they intend to play at least the first 3 home games without fans. NFL's response has been to do what apparently the Atlanta Falcons have been doing for seasons and seasons, and that's pumping in crowd noise for the players. But really, you can't replicate that live crowd feeling. So I'm hoping that it's no more than 3 games. I'm hoping that we can have sports, live sports as we know and love them, sooner than later. And also, we have the NBA playoffs, which we will look at here in a moment. But if you're someone who's trying to keep up with training camp, which fans aren't allowed at either, and then of course there is no preseason, we're getting ready for our fantasy football drafts and then the NFL. So there's a little bit of time to wait. What are you going to do with that time? Well, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, Project Power just came out on Netflix. I've seen reviews of both sides of the spectrum. Either it was great or it was horrible. I have not seen it yet. Probably watch it this weekend. But maybe you've already seen that and you're looking for another film recommendation. That's where the real film nerds come in. So guys, here is this week's real film recommendation.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Matt, back again from the Real Film Nerds podcast. And with me, as always, mysterious Mike Talent. Mike, what movie did we watch this week?
We watched Public Enemies. This one's starring Christian Bale and Johnny Depp. And it's about the gangsters in the 30s. John Dillinger, Babyface Nelson. Pretty fun.
And also the formation of the FBI and was it Marvin Purvis? I don't remember his first name. But
Yeah, Melvin Purvis.
Melvin Purvis. Yeah, there we go. So biopic, historical, great actors back in 2009. Mike, should people sit down and watch this because it's currently streaming on Netflix?
Oh, yeah, this is classic. This is like Michael Mann did this, and he's just so good with the gunplay. So, yeah, I say watch it.
I definitely recommend it as well. The only problem I have with it, it's a little long. It's almost 2.5 hours, so it is quite a bit of a time commitment, but it is an incredible film. Wonderful. Sit down, take a watch. Mike, anything else? I think we're good.
No. Check it out, guys. Real Film Nerds.
Yep. Thanks for hitting us up. Check out our website. Check out our pod, Real Film Nerds, and that's REEL, not REAL. Take it easy.
All right, thanks guys once again for your Real Film recommendation. Don't forget to give them a like and a follow on all social media platforms, and check out their Real Film Nerds podcast. Link is at the end of their little segment there. Now, the NBA playoffs. Finally, we have postseason sports once again. And after Portland beat Memphis in the win and end game, we are officially in round one of the playoffs. Take a look. We have the Lakers taking on the Trailblazers, and the Blazers lead that 1-0. Then in the East, we have the Bucks and the Magic. Magic lead it 1-0. Back in the West, the Rockets, the Thunder. Rockets lead it 1-0. Over to the East, the Pacers and the Heat. Heat lead that 1-0. Back to the West, Clippers and Mavs. Clippers lead it 1-0. Over to the East, the Raptors and the Nets. Raptors lead 2-0. Then back to the West, the Nuggets and the Jazz tied at 1-1. And finally, the last one in the East is the Celtics and 76ers. The Celtics lead 1-0. They're playing right now. And the Clippers and Mavs will play their second game later on tonight. Exciting! Postseason sports. Don't you love it? I don't know who I have taken this thing all the way. The bubble, though, I have been thoroughly impressed with. It's just the fact that they're allowing season ticket holders to be shown through something like this, through Zoom on a big LED board right above the benches, is fantastic. This is really revolutionizing sports in a pandemic world. Something that I hope is short-lived, but the NBA has really made a slam dunk, pun intended, of a bad situation, and they're giving their fans everything that they can to make them feel included while being entertained out on the court. Let's see. This week in fan show history, I was in San Antonio for American Football Events Lone Star Bowl. That was a lot of fun doing play-by-play commentary, and then I beat Jordan Endries, one of my favorite kickers, at Mario Kart at Dave & Buster's. So Jordan, if you're watching, sorry, I'm not sorry, but I do owe you a rematch, so I'll make sure that we get to that hopefully as soon as possible. I hope you're doing well, my friend. I hope all you guys are doing well out there, because the summer is winding down, and it's sort of a sad thing right now. It's the saddest song playing while it rains outside. Also, the XFL was about to announce the names, the logos, and the colors for all 8 of its teams. New ownership is about to assume their ownership of the XFL here in the next couple of days. I'm very excited to see what the plan is for XFL. Are we calling this version 3.0 or version 2.5? I need clarity on that if you've got it. I think this will be the version that's make or break regardless. If they can't make it work with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Danny Garcia, I don't know how you make this league work. But I don't think we'll see XFL football this fall. I'd love to in the absence of a lot of college football, but I still think they're going to stick to being a spring league. The spring league, as I mentioned last week, still going to try to do football in a bubble. And let's see what else we've got here. Oh, the Madden soundtrack has officially been released. I don't know any of the names on it. If you do, awesome. But man, where gone are the days of a well-balanced soundtrack? Something for everyone. There was a really good one. I think it was the one where Peyton Hillis was on the cover, or maybe it was Barry Sanders. But those two, I mean, about 8 or 10 years ago, had really solid soundtracks. But if you're looking for some music to play in the background while you have Madden on mute, once you pick up a copy of Madden 2021, I'm sure that you can get some great recommendations from the fat bearded vinyl guy, who's got another great spin for you this week. So Matt, what are you spinning today?
Hey Fan Nation, I am Matt, the fat bearded vinyl guy, and I am back in the vinyl lair. Today I am spinning the 2019 self-titled cover album from Weezer, but most of their albums are self-titled, so they're mostly referred to by the color of the album cover. So this one is teal, and I'll refer to it as the teal album. This record I picked up on Record Store Day in April 2019. Remember those days when a couple hundred people could pack into a single record store at the same time? Yeah. This album is heavy on the 80s pop, such as a-ha's Take On Me, Sweet Dreams by the Eurythmics, and Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. They also did some older pop songs, such as Stand By Me by Ben E. King and Happy Together by the Turtles. The Teal album also includes Black Sabbath's Paranoid and TLC's No Scrubs. This album was started by the band bowing to a social media campaign for them to record a cover of the Toto classic Africa, which kicks off the record. This is a fun record to listen to. In true Weezer fashion, everything is very tongue-in-cheek, including the album cover, where the band looks like they're straight out of Miami Vice. The only issue I have with the record is that the songs are, I guess you could say, too faithful to the original. When I listen to a cover song or a cover album, I'd like to hear that song in the style of that band. In the case of Africa, it's just Weezer playing Toto's Africa. I'd rather hear it more Weezer-fied, I guess you could say. But what do I know? I'm just a guy in his basement. That's all for now. For more music talk and vinyl shenanigans, check out fatbeardedvinylguy.com. You'll find links to my social media, Facebook and Instagram, as well as the YouTube channel.
All right, thank you, Matt. Once again, before we get into my interview segment with Ameer Ismail, Spokane Shock also revealed or unveiled, or whatever you want to call it, their brand new uniforms for the now 2021 season. They look really sharp. I looked through their uniforms over the years. These are pretty good ones. But a lot of people, surprisingly, their favorite uniform combination was when they were the Spokane Empire. It was a really solid look, I gotta admit. And the Empire is how I got my foot into the IFL door. Very thankful for that. Always holds a near and dear place in my heart. But Mike Crawford was the photographer for those edits you saw. Amazing work, my friend. I said if the Shock needed a photographer to hit him up, and he is not disappointed. And then finally, the feel-good story of the week. This might become a new segment, specifically following this individual. I said if you were a fan of comeback stories, possibly of the century, that we had a story for you. Alex Smith has been activated. That's right, I say again, Alex Smith has been put onto the active roster for the Washington football team after a 2-year absence, suffering one of the most gruesome injuries that you can witness in any professional sport, including mixed martial arts. I mean, it was that painful to watch. It was the injury that eerily was in a similar place, in a similar situation, that ended the career of Joe Theismann. But Alex Smith says, not today. I will play again. And he's out there on the practice field just taking a snap in training camp. I think deserves an applause. Way to go, Alex Smith. So we're going to monitor his season as he gets towards the tail end of his career. But what a story we're witnessing being written before our very eyes. In a year that we really need the feel-goods, Alex Smith is giving us a healthy dose. So here we go, my conversation with the head coach of the Iowa Barnstormers and part of the inaugural class for the Fan Show Hall of Fame, Ameer Ismail. Enjoy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining me now, it is with great honor that I present to you one of the members of the inaugural class for the Fan Show Hall of Fame. He is Coach Ameer Ismail and one of my good friends. Welcome back, sir. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing excellent, Richard. Thanks for having me. As always, it's a pleasure to be on.
Yeah, and I got to get in the spirit of things here. We're going to put some Barnstormer swag on. Kind
Perfect.
of a fun day to talk some IFL. I wish I had a Barnstormer shirt. I think that's the one team I don't have a shirt. I got the hat, but not the shirt.
I got
yet.
you. Send me your address. Send me your address. It's in the mail. I'll be there by next week.
Okay, that sounds great. I can add it to my weekly attire for doing IFL stuff. But hey, man, it's good to see you.
I did get you that one though. I did get you that
Yes.
one that you're wearing. Okay,
Yeah.
good. That was 2018.
Yeah, we can. I think there's a Bloomington Edge ball behind me. We got the whole Ameer Ismail going on here.
Love it.
A tribute to you, Hall of Famer. who should be in the IFL Hall of Fame, but I'm sure that you'll have your day. There, obviously, it doesn't look like there's going to be a 2020 IFL Hall of Fame, but Fan Show's first ever Hall of Fame class. You're part of it, man, and you deserved it. I called you on the phone. You were on the show, and I got to surprise you with that, but now I get to see you, and I hope you're preparing a phenomenal Hall of Fame speech.
I got it. An acceptance speech. I got you. Just let me know when the award's getting passed on, and then I'll get up on stage, and hopefully, it'll be better than a couple others.
Well, it is a great class, and you're the first coach to be a part of it. But your experience and career as a player, I mean, you had a great time. It's transitioned very well. You're now the head coach of the Iowa Barnstormers. We didn't get to see you take the field and see what your squad could do, but they're going to keep you around for 2021, which I say that like, well, of course, why wouldn't they? But there's other teams that are axing head coaches before they even get a chance to coach their first game. So you're already ahead of them. So good on that one.
Yeah, I'm very grateful and blessed. They said that they were just going to judge me out on my losses, and I didn't have too many. So so kind of a similar quote in Wolf of Wall Street, right? And the sales pitch. But so no, I'm very excited about that, and ready to get after it. Hopefully, things will start hitting back to normal. I know, for us, I've been assistant coaching and helping out at my alma mater, Western Michigan University, and we just got our season delayed to the spring. So, finding ways to be productive. Everyone's staying engaged, working hard, getting better, and looking at it as an opportunity to, have a little bit more time to be more prepared than it is like of what you feel like you lost. Everyone's going to take it the way they want and have the perspective they want. And, I choose mine to be positive and keep rolling.
Which is a perfect segue into what I wanted to talk about at the beginning here, and that is obviously you're staying active, you're staying busy, staying healthy, and now that we are officially in an IFL offseason, now that we've had kind of an extended one, as a head coach who was going to be coaching for a new team, the Iowa Barnstormers, but you obviously have head coaching experience already, but still every situation presents its own sets of advantages, disadvantages, and challenges. Having an extended offseason, if you want to call this that, what kind of challenges and advantages and disadvantages does that give to someone like you?
I look at anything as, potential advantage, and always choose to look at it that way. I feel like it just gives us more time to self-reflect and to be self-aware, look at where us as coaches from the top, we could have gotten better at, and where we could have gotten better at as a team overall, whether it was, culture, attitude, scheme, anything that is involved. Big part of coaching is psychology as well. So just, everybody learns different, and just learning all the nuances and learning your players, learning your team, and just, the camaraderie. And, I think, obviously it was tough because we were actually on the road to Oakland to play when we got canceled the day before. It was hard not to play the game. Everyone was very disappointed. Same time, we bonded together as a team. We had a great trip together and got to know a little bit, know each other a little bit more, and know the person behind, underneath the pads, behind the mask. And I think that, it was a great experience in terms of like learning and growing. And I feel like, come next year, there's a couple pieces of the puzzle that we felt like are going to make us better. And we'll just be that much more hungry and ready to go, once we hit the ground running, whenever that's going to be.
Yeah, guys are going to be famished, ready to come into the 2021 season. But if you are a fan of the league and you follow pretty much every team's social media accounts like I do, you see that there's been a lot of posts from Spokane as far as transactions, and you guys, the Iowa Barnstormers, recently quarterback Vincent Espinoza, and then Rob Brown and my man Burt Brown, the twins, defense and offense. How good does it feel to bring those guys back?
Oh man, I couldn't say enough good things about Bert and Rob, and I'll call them RB1, RB2 just because Bobby Brown is, the offensive weapon we have is he was born a few days few minutes earlier, and so he's a senior, he's the experienced guy, so I defer to him, and Bert does a great job. The dynamic play that they both bring is second to none, and I foresee them both being major impacts on the team and making big noise in the league. And they're both veterans. They played for me before, so they know the expectations. They're the type of guys, you tell them to do 10 push-ups at the top of the hill, 10 push-ups at the bottom of the hill, they're doing 11 just to make sure, just to make sure, just to be leader. I don't want to skimp out, and they're always going to do a little +1 and do a little bit extra and help lead the way for the young guys to like Vincent Espinoza, who's also been tremendous part of camp, and look for him to do some great things for us next year as well.
As a younger coach, as a head coach for a professional sports team like the Iowa Barnstormers, and to carry that lineage and that history that they have on your shoulders now, what kind of a compliment is it to have guys, veterans in the league, say they want to play for you?
It's a tremendous compliment. I take that as such because, I work hard for my guys, and guys know that. They start to see that my successes are not just judged by wins. It's judged by giving my guys the resources to be successful and to help promote them and push them for opportunities that they want and help fulfill their dreams. That's the reason why I got into coaching in general. And I'm so blessed that I love what I do for a living. After playing and, having a couple cups of coffee in the NFL and injuries kind of demoralizing my career, it kind of leaves you with well, now what? And then it just kind of came to me where an opportunity came to coach. And I was like, wow, I fell in love with just learning, the amount of detail that you need to know. And there's just the process of how to become great as a coach, as a player, as a team, fell in love with that. And it's just endless, constant learning. And to be able to give back to my players and to give them what things that either I wanted to know prior to, or that I know now because I felt like I found a good way and a formula for them to be the most successful. And when they're successful, that's all the praise and success and that I need. And that's all I want to see for my guys, is to get to where they want to get to. And if I can help them do that, then I did, my job.
Well, you were a great player, and now you've become a great coach. And a short amount of time, you've created a hell of a resume. I mean, you started out, as a coordinator for Spokane and the Empire. They went to the United Bowl, tough loss to Sioux Falls, but then you go and you get your first head coaching gig for the Bloomington Edge, winning season, postseason appearance, and then they bring it over to Massachusetts, the Pirates, the newest members of the Indoor Football League, and you had a just completely phenomenal season there, head coach of the year, and then you had some star players that received end of the year awards too, postseason appearance, all that. I mean, how does it feel to see where you are now and look back at the road that led you here?
Yeah, first and foremost, I had amazing players and coaches around me, and I first got to learn from two of the great coaches, as mentors, through this business with Coach Mark Stout and Coach Adam Shackelford. So learning a lot of their processes, and then kind of putting the things that I liked the most and making it my own. And then just allowing me to be me, just being myself, not trying to be another coach, and just allowing that personality to kind of come out and, find my own way and formula, throughout that process. And I can't thank the ownership groups enough for taking a chance on me in Bloomington. And then also, the team family, for giving me an opportunity. Jawad's like a brother to me, out in Massachusetts, and Hassan, he's always treated me, amazingly. And they literally are still like family to me. So just having that opportunity to be entrusted in their team, to help coach the team, and to be successful, I can't thank them enough. And, just again, it's all about the players and all the people that, kind of help put it together. And, just again, the big thing for me is just giving my guys resources to be successful and trying to instill some of that motivation and, get the most out of them, always trying to get the absolute most and expect the most out of my players. And you're not going to necessarily like everything that, I want you to do, or I'm telling you to do, but you're going to respect it over time. And that your play is elevating. And so if that's the case, and you're getting better and better every day, every practice, every game, and you're getting opportunities or getting accolades, whatever, that was all them. But that's what I want for them, is to expect that and to, hold them to a high standard. And once they start, seeing that and the expectation, they start holding each other accountable. And that's when you become a great team. And that's when guys get moved up to, bigger and better opportunities, NFL, CFL.
Now, the schedule, of course, isn't out yet, and we have a lot of waiting to do before that time comes. But you see it pretty often in the NFL, sometimes at the college level, but very seldom do you see it at the indoor level, where the coach of one team goes to a new team and then plays his former team. You'll see a lot of times a coordinator goes from one team to a new team as the head coach and then plays his former team. But when it's a head coach from one team to a new team and playing that old team, that's something different. So if you guys get the chance to play Massachusetts, one of your former teams, what is that mindset going to be like for you stepping on that field?
Yeah, I think, first of all, leaving Massachusetts for the collegiate job, it just was a tough decision for me initially, just because, like I said, literally helped grow and build that team from the ground up with, Jawad and Hassan. So, wanting to see things out and then come back and win a championship was always big, but I couldn't really turn down what I had as an offer, to be close to home, new baby, everything, just made that decision. And now, to come back, and then I'm back, coaching IFL with a great, ownership and management group. By the way, I can't say enough about, Jeff Lamberti and John Pettit also entrusting me and giving me the opportunity. I want to do the same, for them, and better, bring them a championship and be active in the community and have a successful team for them, and that they're, happy with is very important to me as well. And then playing against my former team, at Mass is going to be very interesting. It's going to be a very, intense game. It's one that I think that, of course, you always want to, beat a former team, and not to mention a former team, but then when you have friends there or guys that you coach there, it's like you want everyone to do well and you wish them well. It's just that, and then you want it almost that much more. It's like a sibling rivalry. You want to beat that person even and more than anybody. And but it's all love, it's all respect, and I can't wait for that opportunity. It should be a lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to it as well. And now that you guys have had a season off, not by choice, of course, but sometimes when a team hires a new head coach, it can be feel a little rushed as far as them, creating their playbook if they don't already have one, assembling their roster, making the transactions, working out with game plans, the coordinators, the ownership, everything from top to bottom. You're the guy now. And even though it wasn't due to injury or anything, it was because of COVID that the season was canceled. You've had extra time and probably didn't want it, but have you been able to use this to your advantage? And for players that have missed whole seasons before because of injury, how is this different, and what's your message been to them as far as making sure that they stay sharp and come out hungrier this next season?
Yeah, I always try to touch base with my guys and my team, once, every few weeks at least. And I talk to several of the players, once every few days, just to see how they're doing, see how their psyche is. It affects everyone, a lot, just mentally for, having, opportunities taken away just off of circumstance. So I'm just trying to, keep them positive, doing positive things, staying on their grind to get better, get perspective, donate their time, give back to the community if they can. And, some of them are working and some of them, have other opportunities that they, might end up pursuing. But again, the guys that, they're going to come back even bigger, faster, stronger with, a high level of expectation, because I did have a young team, I have some good veteran leaders, but not everybody, was very experienced in the IFL. And so now they know they got one camp under the belt. So now we can hit the ground running a little bit more. We can, not start off at step one and try to get to step two before, game one. We're starting off at step two.
Which is great, and I love your coaching approach and your tactics, staying in contact with your guys. It always kind of puts a personal touch on the experience for your squad. It seems like it's a brotherhood, more tight-knit than maybe some other teams out there. But speaking of other teams out there, we mentioned Mass, and we don't get a whole lot of trash talk on the show, but there is another coach that you will hopefully be facing in 2021 who's located out in Spokane now, named Coach Billy Back. You guys have a pretty good history together, especially from your days in the National Arena League. So how much are you looking forward to squaring off with Billy Back in 2021?
Oh, I can't wait. He's a great coach, good friend of mine. And I know that team's going to be, well coached, and, it literally, every game that we faced has came down to the last play or two, last seconds. And that's, what it's going to end up taking, like every little detail, every inch, every yard is going to matter in that game. And so very excited about it. I'm very excited about it to do it on, in the IFL now. And, based off of proximity, I'm not sure if we'll be able to face off, during the season. I hope so. That'd be great. If not, then hopefully we, get to see each other in the playoffs, and it should be a tremendous game, and, look forward to it.
Well, I'll make sure that I show up for that one, because you guys did not disappoint that last time. That really was a great game, man. Wow. One of my favorites, but
I appreciate you. You were good luck for us. That was the game you came to. That was amazing. I was like,
yeah, don't get that started again. People are going to say, no, don't come to our game.
Oh, you're going to be the Billy Back beater. I love it.
Oh,
I got it.
That's how you know the interview's coming to an end right there, when they start putting up their own hashtags on the show here. Hashtag Billy Backbeater. Jeez.
I like it.
Well, Ameer, I needed a good laugh. I needed to talk to a friendly face. So I thank you for taking the time to come on the show face to face, finally, doing things a little differently here. But, man, always a pleasure. And I sure hope you guys are taking care of over there. You and your family look like you're doing great. So keep it up.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Thanks again for having me on, and have a wonderful evening.
You too, man. Thanks a lot. And one more big thank you to Ameer for joining me on the Fan Show. Always great to have a friend join me to discuss the IFL and just have a good laugh this year. This is 2020. We really need some good laughs. So I'm glad he was able to join me. And obviously, because I didn't know that Massachusetts was going to be joining the IFL until it was made official, I couldn't have anyone from Massachusetts on the show for an exclusive, but we will work diligently to make that happen for you, the people of Fan Nation, including Commissioner Todd Tryon may finally be able to make an appearance on the show next week. He couldn't this week because he was traveling for obvious reasons, but we will continue to bring you great content week in and week out. I've got some awesome ideas and potential guests lined up for the future. So we are onward and upward to infinity and beyond, and that will do it for episode 468 of The F.A.N Show. So remember to give us a like and a follow on all major social media platforms. If you can't watch live or when it premieres on Facebook or YouTube channel, make sure that you are subscribing to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and iHeartRadio. But make sure that you're trying to watch first, because it's a lot of fun. You get to see all of this every week. Yeah. And you can do that by liking the Facebook page, and we will premiere new episodes on there first, and then we'll upload them to the YouTube channel, which you should also subscribe to, because we are getting more subscribers by the week. It's a very exciting time to be a member of F.A.N Nation. That is youtube.com/c/The.F.A.N Show. So until next time, best of luck to you and yours. Go Niners, and of course it's all fun and games until you butt fumble. Good night, folks!
Do you remember the time that Mark Sanchez ran into his player's butt? That was funny sports.
Thank you for having me on the show, man. I love the F.A.N Show.